Hey guys, so this is a view you're probably a little familiar with, but there's usually a chair right in front of it. For today's video, I thought that I would kind of explain my current bookshelf setup because I haven't really done that lately. So I have this smaller bookshelf, and then this one has 5 shelves, and then another 3 shelf, a skinny 3 shelf, and then I have these 2 packing crates that have my DVDs in them, and then I have more DVDs and some video games in there. So this whole shelf right here, I've read all of those books, and then this shelf and these 2, I've read all of those books. And starting right here, I have all my smallest books going up bigger this way, and then continuing on these shelves going upwards, and then it ends with my biggest books right here at the end. And on top of this shelf right here, I have some of my favorite vintage books, and on top of this one right here, I have some of my favorite books that are classics but modern editions. So as you know, because I've mentioned it like a billion times, I'm reading really big books in 2017. So my goal is to eventually, and it might take several years, read enough of my books that I can empty out this shelf of books and put my DVDs on there and just get rid of the packing crates because that's not very pretty to look at. At the beginning of this year, I had this whole part full of big books, and I had a couple like on the floor as well, so I have made some progress, but not a whole lot. And eventually I want to have read like 90% of the books that I own. Right now I've only read like half of the books I own, and I like it so eventually I have more space on my shelves, like so I can put stuff like this next to the books instead of on top of the books. And I could put like picture frames and stuff on my shelves and just kind of bring more space to them, and of course have more room to grow, because for a long time I've had completely full shelves. So all my unread books are organized completely just by size. And then over here I have my Tolkien, George R.R. Martin, Jane Austen, the Brontes, and then I kind of have general fiction books down here, and down on this shelf I have a lot of my kind of graphic novels and more arty kind of books. And then here are the classics I have. And I haven't read this one, and I'm kind of partially reading this one, just really taking my time with that one. Then I have Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling, and then Night Film, because that's kind of the only spot I had for that one. And then I have my YA books, so Rainbow Rowell, John Green, Maureen Johnson, Stephanie Perkins, Brian Selznick's books, and the Wildwood series. And then down here I just have more YA and kids books. I have a couple random hardbacks of Harry Potter that I would like to eventually grow into a full set of the hardbacks, and more John Green, and just some kind of general kids books that I have. And then here's the vintage classics shelf that I have. You've seen most of these lately, especially in my Jane Austen and Bronte collection videos. And kind of the extra stuff I have this shell from the beach that is painted pink on the inside. I have some Ex Libris hanging out back there. And then I have this picture frame which I showed in my Bronte collection. Up here I have my Rubik's Cube, which is very worn out. I have another frame with a card in it, and then I switch this one out every once in a while with some of my other vintage books. I have this glittery A, which I think came from a birthday decoration, in my Time Turner. And this skull I got at a store just randomly. I was out shopping with a friend. I have my Snitch and Hermione's wand. And then I have this purple paper craft A that I did. Based on a tutorial that Karen Cabot did several years ago. And then back here, which I try to keep hidden during my videos, I have my clock and then my temperature thermometer, which is very handy because I don't have one like in my apartment, so I have to use that. And way down in this corner, I have just some random stuff. I have a picture frame and like a binder and just random stuff I don't really know where else to put, and it's a nice little convenient cubby to store some things in. So anyway, those are my shelves and kind of my ideas and goals for where I want my shelves to go from here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!